as well. So let's do a combined 11 for the
Based on
Arsenal
this season,
Liverpool.
yeah?
Just a whole Arsenal team.
Based on this season.
There's not many combinations
what
in
I
there,
would
to
say
be honest.
is
It's like Anthony Joshua, mate.
like if you
Straight 1-2.
think of it this way: if you're picking the teams for tomorrow, so everybody who's fit, going on current form with everything,
The fact
we
that
have
it's
to
at
do a
Anfield,
combined
we have
11.
to throw in there then.
Combined 11.
It's a +1 on every player's ratings.
Let's kind of look
Probably
at it.
one player I'd put.
Or is it too easy if that's the case?
Boy, I'm not. It sounds mad because I am one of these people that, based on the last 4 or 5 years, I'm still saying Liverpool, don't count them out. But that I'm struggling. I'm looking at the Liverpool team. Who am I trying to put in there? Who am I trying to put in there?
So should we do it based?
I'm even backing Ramsdale.
Should we do it based on ability then? Should we do it based on ability then?
You have to just to get some Liverpool players
We'll
in
do
there.
it based on ability then. Oh, Nathan,
But based
sorry, I
on
almost missed your
ability,
super
then
chat.
Van Dijk and Trent walk in there, and I don't think they really should be.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Let's go for it. Let's
I agree
go for
with
it. Let's
that.
go for it. So let's try and create an 11. Guys, sending your chats as well. Nathan sends in a super chat here as well for you, Daps. He says, admit it, you're scared of Arsenal and its heritage.
Sorry, so firstly,
This is football.
heritage. Is that from a Liverpool fan or an Arsenal fan?
Arsenal fan.
Talking about heritage.
Don't know. Could be a Brentford fan.
It's just Jose Mourinho.
So in goal,
Listen, Arsenal, if Arsenal win tomorrow,
Alisson and Ramsdale in goal.
I think it's a conversation. It's not a foregone
I like
conclusion.
It. Talk to me.
At all.
Let's talk, Daps.
I think that
Who are you guys going for in the comments as well? Let us know.
if you're looking at Arsenal centre backs, they've both had an amazing season. They'd probably both get in this team. Who leads the line, or does Ramsdale help to lead that line? Because I think Ramsdale, how vocal and confident Ramsdale is, doesn't get spoke about enough.
Yeah.
I think the minute Pickford makes one mistake for England, Ramsdale goes into that England team and he holds it down for about 7-8 years. I think Ramsdale is good. He's young. For a goalkeeper, he's still young as well. I think Ramsdale, look, there is then the argument with Alisson that, like Man United over the last few years, maybe not so much recently, how De Gea was making United finish higher than maybe they should have. Think the same with Alisson this season. He's kept them in it. But I can pick out last week, his distribution. I want this narrative that Alisson's distribution is amazing to stop, because it isn't. Right?
Well, he's not quite Edison.
But this is the thing. I'm more than happy as a City fan to stand here and go, yeah, Alisson is most definitely a better shot stopper than Edison. But then Liverpool fans will say, yeah, but his distribution is equally as good.
He can play in the midfield.
I do not think his distribution is good.
No, it's good. Edison distribution is one of the best.
I think Ramsdale does more for Arsenal's defence than just his shot stopping.
We've got a poll up for the goalkeeper, by the way.
I'd have to go Alisson personally, just because he's one of the only players I see actually getting in there.
Because the defence is doing so badly that he's got more. He has to save more.
I have to put Alisson.
He's the only Liverpool player I'd probably
Especially
consider this season putting in there.
But that's because the defence is so bad that there's so many shots against him that Alisson has more opportunities to get his ratings higher.
Yeah.
And people
Agreed
never speak
that.
on that. When a defence is bad, it puts more pressure on the goalkeeper.
But he also proved that when their defence was good, that he was up to the billing as well.
And that's my thing with Alisson, is you saw he was the best goalkeeper in the world for the past 2 or 3 years when Liverpool were good. And then this season, when the defence has completely fallen by the wayside, he's actually still been, in my opinion, the only one standing. And he's had moments and gaps. I think any keeper nowadays who plays as risky as he does, you're going to have those moments. But for me, I always look at Alisson and I'm like, I'm confident in that guy.
We'll
like, no matter what,
Yeah.
I always like to think, if a striker beats your defence, you want to be able to look at your keeper and be like, it's all right. 9 times out of 10, he's probably got that. I look at Alisson similarly like how I used to look at almost Oliver Kahn. It's just a wall.
He's good.
Good luck trying to get.
Do you know what the problem is? What I'm probably doing
Czech,
here.
I remember.
Czech was the same,
Similarly like that as well. Yeah, for like a year or two.
Not that I like him.
I think you're right. I'm probably being very critical on Alisson, because I agree with you. Over the last 2 years,
I hear you though. With the distribution, sometimes it does get over. Especially, I think with Alisson, Edison having been a conversation over the last couple of years. That has always been the tool Edison can
last
win
week
with.
I watched him in particular, and when he did try and go long last week against City, every time it just led to the ball coming back. But
it's against
Abdul Ghaffar, who's an Arsenal fan himself, says Alisson. He says high and field. He says more clean sheets, Ramsdale, and better with the ball. Exeter says, facts, Fuad, throw up the polls for an 11v11. I wish we'd be here all day, my friend. But a lot of Alisson, it seems like. There is sprinkles of Ramsdale as well. I'm not going to say it's unanimous, but I personally, yep. And poll is done as well. Alisson with 60% of the votes and Ramsdale with 40%.
Closer than I thought, to be fair.
I think, same as well.
Yeah.
Did my job to back your boy.
How are we looking for right back? I'm curious to see when this conversation gets had right here.
Benjamin White. Like I said, if you said the quality thing before, if you're talking about overall, Trent Alexander-Arnold, I have him as one of the greatest right back in the world. But I can't put him over Ben White. If I'm talking a squad that's going to play tomorrow, Ben White has got to be in there.
Do you know what?
Ben White on form has
I'll
been
put this out there.
Phenomenal.
For me, Trent should no longer be called a right back.
He's a
central midfielder.
No, he is the definition. Cancelo was as well at City of a system player, right?
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, his job is to defend." Why? Because you're saying his job is to defend. In Klopp's system, that's not his job, right? So for me, this season he has not been protected the way he has previous seasons. That's not his fault.
Yeah.
He's had to defend more. He's never been good at defending. That's on Klopp. That's on the DMs. That's on everyone else. It's not on Trent. But Ben White's had a phenomenal season, and we have to look. Ben White is one of these Arsenal players that even Arsenal fans were criticising him. Right? He's had a sensational season. He's
moved position as well.
Best right back in the league this season.
I think even the chat reading here, it seems pretty much Ben White.
It's his consistency of performances that really impresses me with Ben White.
For me, that at the World Cup, there were genuine shouts for Ben White to play at right back for England. Tells me all I need to know on how good he's been in an unfamiliar position.
The fact that he can switch between the two as well. That's the beauty, that he can play right centre back as well. And
I like that. That's actually a very good call. That kind of he's more needs a system catered to him rather than he's a natural right back. I can definitely hear that case. For Trent. Right, so we've got Ben White.
Could have been a penalty to Brighton, you know.
Alisson in goal, and then give me your left back. Let's go.
Okay. Oh. What am I talking about?
Okay, look at this guy trying to get himself involved in the... Listen,
I know.
Wait your turn, yeah? Arsenal v Liverpool.
I just put Ben White. Because you've got
Roberts.
You've got another one of your old boys arguably getting in there.
You've got...
it has to be Zinchenko.
Zinchenko,
It has to be.
Zinchenko.
What, we're going to try and argue Robertson?
Because we did say ability as well. Listen, if we're talking all-timers in Premier League... Robbo's in the conversation.
Robertson is a better...
So I'm not having it. If we're including ability in all of this...
But you've got him...
Is it this season?
We're talking all-timers. Milner's in the conversation.
I know former City boy.
No, I like Robertson.
But I'm like, let's not shout about Robbo here.
He doesn't deserve it on this season.
Not on this season, no.
That's why...
Zinchenko, look...
Brighton just had a penalty chance.
They did
as well.
They did, very much.
By the way, that Newcastle goal got disallowed. I don't know if we touched on it.
The problem here is that I'm just looking at the rest of the team and thinking this is going to go the same in every damn position.
This is one of the few positions I feel like they can argue. Zinchenko's been playing left centre mid, technically.
Robertson's been bad this season, bro. Robertson has been bad this season. Robertson's been very bad. Robertson on form, one of the best left backs in the
Liverpool
league.
Fans, I'm trying to fight the good fight here, but Zinni, I think, is actually a lot for this.
That would be mad.
I do think as well, like you notice actually the difference when Zinchenko's not in and out of the Arsenal side, and I always think that's a big deciding factor when a player goes missing as well.
And if we're going to talk on, let's not just look at this season, right? For the last, Zinchenko's won 4 Premier Leagues at City, right? The last 2 seasons at very least, he started both seasons, and potentially the third as well, as our second choice left back. Cancelo our first choice. By the end of the season, he's our first choice left back. For me, it's Zinchenko, hands down, based on how good he's been this season, how bad Robertson's been this season. The fact Zinchenko has also been good previous seasons. So for me, no-brainer.
And now centre-back pairings.
Gabriel.
Do you know what? We're going to right. So, firstly, what we have to come to the agreement. If we're going to throw one Liverpool name forward, are we going to put Konate forward? Probably.
Konate would be
not.
Depends if you're talking overall talent, and then, like I said, Van Dijk walks into that side.
Of course, that's what I said. I said we are taking full ability into account, but it's also for a game.
But it's too hard to not have Gabriel and Saliba in.
But it's a game now.
It's impossible.
But the game
and
is
they
now.
are top of the league, and they're top of the league for a reason. Defense is win you titles. And
the game is now.
It's very hard to put a side that's been leaking goals like nobody's business.
But we have to be. You know what? Not my opinion. The overall opinion is that Van Dijk has been one of the best centre-backs in the last 5 years.
One of the best centre-backs in the world.
So based on that, exactly, you have to say, you know what, he does have some credit in the bank.
Yeah, and he's in the
That's all he
conversation.
has right now, but he's got good credit.
He's got great credit. He's got credit Swiss, but I'm afraid it's not enough cachet in the bank to get himself over Gabriel Saliba.
All I'm telling you is,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I would never want to see a Van Dijk Gabriel partnership.
I'm with that. I think
Van Dijk works with anyone in his prime,
bro. What Van Dijk does is get away with murder and look at other players and make it look like they are at fault. Yeah, he will be looking at Gabriel constantly, going, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
it wouldn't work, bro. It would not work. He'd see Gabriel as a victim.
Konate's the one where I'm like, and the thing is, okay. Here's my thing. Let's lock Gabriel. I think he's the one. For me, the Konate Saliba. I want to have a discussion.
It wouldn't be bad.
I remember the World Cup, right?
I see what you're doing.
Who was playing at the World Cup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was scrubbing boots on the touchline?
Okay, but by that definition,
who's filling up water bottles? And who's keeping clean sheets?
By that definition, is Pickford better than Ramsdale?
I'm just asking the questions.
I like the question. And I like what you did.
It's a good point, but it's a hard 11 to choose because.
Are you trying to say that Konate should be in over Saliba?
I'm just saying, if Deschamps rates Konate higher, who are we? It's a question. Yeah. Is there a discussion there? Is what I'm saying. Now, I'm obviously being tongue in cheek, but
Chelsea reject.
Saliba, I think, in the first half of the season was incredible. I think second half of the season as well. I'm not saying he's not been good, but I think Gabriel is now kind of looking more like the A side. Where I think first half of the season, people would have said Saliba's a little bit more.
I just love how comfortable Saliba is on the ball, man.
I think that's what it is. I think there's almost this what Van Dijk used to have, the aura.
Yep,
he has.
Saliba's now starting to get this aura.
Yeah, he has.
And everyone is just like, oh, but I like his aura. And I'm like, but no, Konate's the same, bro. Konate's a beast. And even the other day I saw him playing and I was like, yo, this guy's actually like a man mountain. He's actually hard to get past. And I think the issues he's had is injuries. I think if it weren't for injuries, he would be a lot further ahead in his Liverpool career, and I think Liverpool would be a lot better in my eyes.
For France, though, because when I'm looking at what you've just described there, and then what Saliba brings, you think of a long-term France partnership of Konate and Saliba. That is balance.
But they've got so many other good centre backs. They've got Wesley Fofana. They've got Upamecano. They've got so many good centre backs.
France is very blessed with footballers. Very blessed.
It's just it's an embarrassment of riches, you know.
That's France for you.
Right, I need a lock on the pairings. Who we going?
Gabby and Saliba.
And Saliba.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to debate. We're gonna have to debate.
Big up AMT on the super chat as well. He says, "How was that not a penalty for Mitoma?"
Yeah, I thought that as well.
You tell me, yeah. And there are some other super chats that have been sent in as well from Diallo and Nathan. I will be reading those after we've done the 11 because they're not kind of pertaining to what we're talking about at the moment, but they are good questions nonetheless. We will come back to those. Now, midfield. I mean, is this even a discussion worth having, guys?
Nope.
Go on, how are you going to try and put a switch that Fabinho is having a better season than anyone?
I'm going to try and get in my bag here.
Well, you know, maybe over Odegaard here and there.
What you got?
I ain't got nothing.
I mean,
Keita, Milner, Jones.
A Liverpool fan would say,
but if
Thiago was
ability,
But how much is ability?
Thiago on ability or Shaq on ability? Who are you taking?
The truth of the matter is,
Odegaard.
Ronaldo left.
And Liverpool have gone down to the dumps. Look, if you're
Thiago
talking Thiago at Bayern Munich, yes. Thiago at Liverpool, I don't even think his peak compares to what Odegaard's doing this year. And Harry Kane.
Harry Kane.
I said you just got caned. You just got caned.
That's grim.
And it's 2-1. Tottenham Hotspur.
2-1 back into the mighty Tottenham Hotspurs. Brighton, hold that.
This is what happens business end of the season.
Brighton
hold that
Albion. Sit back.
This is what
Send
happens.
you back to the seaside, blood.
Business end of the season.
Be a rock
People
sweep.
step up. Liverpool,
I went down there. We got beat 4-1. So don't be telling me about.
Had to get
giving me nightmares, mate.
Oh, let's see how this Harry Kane goal went in, man. Robbery by Spurs, as everyone is saying.
Chelsea
robbery,
had a golden
robbery.
chance.
Harry Kane. I mean, we could have arguably slotted him into underrated earlier. I mean, I know he's rated.
I think it's just the Haaland noises drowning him out a little bit. But
I mean, people have been. I mean, he's very silent. I haven't heard many people gas him up for the season he's having. Is phenomenal.
Do you know that Haaland has twice as many assists?
Who tried to do that little silly flick in the middle of the pitch? I got dispossessed.
Is that Caicedo?
My God! If that was Caicedo or Mitoma, hang your head in shame. Whoever that midfielder was, Mitoma, Caicedo, McAllister. I'm gonna find out because that was not good.
Who got the assist?
That was not smart.
Højbjerg.
And it has been confirmed, by the way, that Tottenham perform best when they have no manager.
Hey.
Yes,
you might be cooking. You might be cooking. No gaffer, no problem.
I'll tell you who's not cooking.
Exactly.
Stellini. Well, he is cooking. He's burnt the pan, though.
He's cooking for the boys after the game.
Let's just get back to this team as well now. So the midfield three, Partey, Odegaard, and Thiago.
No, get the hell out of here. Xhaka is in there like swimwear, baby.
That would cook, but unfortunately...
No, but even then,
availability. You said availability.
You know what?
Important.
No, but like I
hate
said,
when people do that. Beat me up. But
if you're talking Thiago before he came to the Premier League, but Thiago since he's been at Liverpool,
he's great last season.
At Liverpool,
he's been a bit like
better than what Xhaka's best is this year.
The way I was talking about Xhaka earlier as well, I was like, you know,
Thiago last season. Thiago last season was at the level of Xhaka.
No, he was not. Granit Xhaka is different gravy, mate.
You think?
Yeah.
I thought Thiago's whole existence at Liverpool has been overrated.
End of last season, I thought.
End of last season, from your pinpointing a little point of the season, for me it's overrated.
Has he performed as well as Wijnaldum?
Let's move on to the front line anyway.
Wijnaldum.
Who are you guys going for the right wing slot? And this is where it gets interesting.
Bukayo Saka.
It's not interesting.
On form, arguably the best player.
Is it interesting?
Behind Erling Haaland.
Even on
best
form,
player
though,
in the
Salah
league.
the last couple of weeks has been...
I watched the show earlier.
Bukayo Saka over this season, the way he's developed, especially after what happened to him in the Euros, to come back.
Let me... Because I just... There's a clip, apparently, just for this right wing clip. Please, production, if you got the tape... Roll the footage.
So down the middle now.
It's Salah. So you know it's Salah. The Arsenal team. Come on, listen. Don't give me the boy.
No, you know.
Don't give me boy.
Because you can say how many goals has Jesus scored?
7.
Is that it?
Salah's got 11.
Even Nunes has scored more.
And how many?
Salah's got 11.
How many goals? Yeah, how many has Salah scored in
23 in all comps.
Premier League.
Let me get on to that. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to look it up.
11. He's got 11. 11 goals, 7 assists.
Is it 11?
11.
Right, so
no, it's more than it. Must be more.
No, it's more than
check it. Yeah. 11.
Check it.
Must be on AGT or something.
check that stat out. Before I make my decision on this.
What is it?
He didn't score in Chelsea. Did he score? I know he's on 40 plus goals and assists this season. So he might be 12.
He does score
in the Premier League.
12. It's 12.
12-7, right?
All right.
It's 12.
So he scored 12 goals. He scored 12 goals in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Right. And Jesus scored 7. Jesus missed 4 months.
So is
Diaz. There was a World Cup in between.
No, hold on. We're not talking about
World Cup.
Wait a minute. We're not talking about Diaz. We're not talking about the World Cup. We're talking about
starting tomorrow. You want Salah?
We're talking about right.
Salah scores in big games.
He's missed nearly 4 months. Right?
Is that my fault?
No, hold on.
Is that my fault? He's looking at me like he missed 4 months. Is that my fault? Did I do anything to him?
In the 4 months that he was out, Salah scored 5 more goals.
That's good.
He's also scored a lot of Champions League goals as well, Rob.
We're talking about the Premier League. This is a Premier League game. So if we're looking on it, right, has he been any better? He's not been better than Jesus this season.
They're trying to maneuver things around to try and force their guys in. Listen, who you lot going right wing?
I do hear it through the middle though, Salah through the middle. Listen, sometimes you do have to change the way
I can hear it. But that's not where he's been playing.
It's not where he plays.
No, so we need to have the difficult conversation.
If you're adding form, if you're adding like overall, not just form, sorry, if you're adding overall talent, ability,
of course,
he's the best out of anybody in either two sides.
Van Dijk's not in the back four.
No, but Van Dijk has had, compared to Salah, Salah's still been performing.
And even like ability-wise, I think like Saliba and Gabriel potentially could reach the levels of VVD. Whereas Salah, we're looking at like, one of the Premier League all-timers, in all honesty. There's no way I'm leaving.
How are we judging this team?
I'm all good to give the midfield, the defence. We got Alisson, but Salah?
Yeah, I hear you.
We can't.
But hold on. But based on that, based on this season, leaving Saka out.
No. Letting Salah up front.
Salah? I'm talking Salah.
Bro,
I'm leaving
Saka out this season.
No. I'm saying shoehorn him in at striker. And then, because you can't drop Saka.
Because I'm not hearing this argument that Saka plays left. I'm not hearing that Saka plays on the left.
Megan Rocks, she says Salah over Saka.
That is criminal.
Yeah, but how many people said Saka over Salah?
And this is the thing. How many people have said Saka? I'm not are you seeing? No.
Well, there's probably quite a big Arsenal contingency in this chat.
I'm seeing Mahrez over Salah. People are saying like, people aren't mentioning even Saka himself.
Hold on,
guys, defend your guy.
Hold on. Can I just hit up? Is there any argument for Saka? Because
you guys tell me.
For me,
you guys tell me.
For me right now, I would. I defend Gabby all the time. Jesus is my boy, right? But I'll be honest, Saka has to be in that team. Now, Saka's has to go through the middle, fine, and Jesus don't start.
Whoa.
Yeah,
bro, 100%. Saka has to be in this team.
Salah's shoehorned in there, man.
Salah's been shoehorned in, yeah.
I'm shoehorning him in at striker.
For this,
one of the Premier League all-timers is being shoehorned in, is what you lot are telling me.
Well, you said he's not striker.
You lot even mentioned recent form, and I showed you recent form. Mo Salah's. Have you lot been seeing the lob through balls? The round-away passes. You seen the man?
No, but it's about who's comparing.
How recent form though?
No, it's about who he's compared to though. You're comparing him to the creme de la creme.
Player of the season.
So I'm hearing the Salah stuff. I love Salah as much as the next guy, which is why I want to shoehorn him in. And obviously it's very harsh to say the words shoehorning him in, but you're comparing him again. This is why it's so tough with these Liverpool players who are having a bad season and are actually a lot better than what we're giving a lot of them credit for. But you're comparing them against the most informed players in the league.
You don't win with
their most informed players with Bukayo Saka.
So is this unanimous then? The chat still
hold on, let's just pause on it. What are we saying on the left though?
Trossard.
Wait, no, let's do one at a time. Saka, yeah?
Saka has to be in it.
Saka 100%.
Chat, you not sure?
Saka, Salah through the middle.
First name on the
as it is Easter weekend, I do want to give a shout out to my boy Jesus. I think he's got an Indian conversation.
You know what?
Gotta love about
that. Right, let's go over to the other side now. Left wing. I'm hearing Luis Diaz is back in contention.
Bro, come on.
Trossard.
No.
We literally put availability is key, then Diaz is not there.
Well, you don't remember Luis Diaz from...
Oh, I do, last season.
But it's last season, though.
That was the Tasmanian devil.
Last season, though.
Yesterday's man.
One season. He ain't got the credit like Salah's got.
He's a half-season wonder.
Right.
Oh, he was good. No, he was good before the half season.
Massively, and I do think he'll come back and land.
Okay, then. I'll be honest with you.
Mate,
no shout for
the
Nunes.
poll has closed. Okay, Saka is in. Saka got 78% of the votes.
So let's bring the boy. Let's bring the boy.
That propaganda was shameless. That was shameless.
I was not being shameless. I was literally when I showed you the chat. I like there was no Sakas there.
No,
at the time, there wasn't.
No.
So I wasn't being shameless.
Yeah, they were waiting.
Yeah, they were waiting for the poll, and then they voted on the poll. So fair play. Listen, we appreciate you guys being involved. Left wing. I don't even think Liverpool should be involved in this conversation, in my opinion. I think Darwin maybe through the middle you can have the conversation. I think that's more of a conversation.
What? Darwin over Salah through the middle?
What do you mean? Salah's been... You lot relegated Salah.
No.
I
relegated him. Put Salah in striker.
Is off the team.
No, I'm shoehorning him in the striker.
Oh, now, look, you see now...
I said it from the start. Run back the clip. I said I'm shoehorning Salah in at striker.
We're not doing shoehorning. We're not doing shoehorning
him.
Oh, well, in that case, Darwin or... Darwin or Jesus. I'm starting Jesus every single day.
But I'm saying left wing.
So left wing.
Left wing for me, Liverpool aren't even involved in this discussion. It's between Trossard and Martinelli. And this is where I actually want to hear where some of these Arsenal fans stand on, because who are you going to pick? The new toy, or are you going to pick the golden boy?
Got to go the guy that's done it the rest of the season. Like, because they wouldn't have. They got into a position where they needed Trossard as backup.
But are we ignoring what Trossard did before coming to Arsenal as well? Because if you're including that, then he's over Martinelli for me.
I must say, I think Arsenal got it right. I think Trossard for me is a player you start, and I think Martinelli right now off the bench.
Off the bench.
I think Trossard for me, Trossard gets it. He can do the direct thing, but he can also do the pass. I think he's everything. I would have took him at City all day long as a winger. Next season, I think we're going to need a winger. I would have took Trossard.
And West Ham have just beaten Fulham.
So I'd go with Trossard.
Big result.
West Ham, yes.
Massive result.
That result is finally done now.
No relegation.
1-0.
Tournament for
That's
them.
a surprise result, honestly. I think Fulham have been in a little bit of free fall over the last couple of weeks. But so you're going Trossard?
Yeah.
You're going?
I'll go for Trossard too. Yeah.
Trossard.
Wow. And do you know what's so mad? The chat is almost in unanimous Martinelli. This is the beauty of football. Everyone can have an opinion. Look, Martinelli, Nelly, Martinelli.
Okay.
There is barely any Trossard shouts. Martinelli is Arsenal's top goal scorer, sends in Big Ash with the super chat.
The thing is, and I always say, when someone tries to tell me about City that's not a City fan, I'm like, you can't tell me about City. So I get here.
This is their own. This is their own. They're telling you.
If it's their team, yeah.
And then up front. Now you see that if where you lot are talking about shoehorning Salah, I've only seen Salah maybe play one game. Now if you said you wanted to shoehorn Trossard, I've seen that. I've seen Trossard play 9 for Brighton. I've seen Trossard play 9 for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Like it's an actual legitimate case. So if you wanted to say Trossard, Darwin or Jesus, I can hear that discussion. If you want to remove Trossard from this, I'm okay to do that as well.
I think it goes back to what you said earlier, Daps, about Van Dijk, about the cash in the bank, the credit in the bank. And Salah just has enough credit in the bank.
He doesn't have credit in the bank as a 9. That's
he has so much credit in the bank. Mate, his pockets are absolutely overflooding. He has that much credit in there. So much so that he is worthy of shoehorning it. Trossard is not.
I just said
massive result for Newcastle there, as you just said as well. 2-1. That game's just finished there as well. Leicester, Bournemouth has just finished 1-0 as well. Bournemouth 1-0 win. All the results you basically didn't want to have happened.
Yep, Wolves have beaten Chelsea as well. Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely brilliant, mate.
We got Rich Torrens with the super chat as well. He says Martinelli left wing, Trossard striker, Saka right wing.
See, here's the thing.
And guess what? A lot of chats coming in as well. Sorry, Daps, just to cut you off. But people are saying Jota. They're saying Jota is the Arsenal
killer.
This
season.
I'd rather have any.
If you're talking in this fixture, combined 11, you're looking for a...
it's our boy.
Ollie Watkins! 2-0 Aston Villa. But Nottingham Forest
I just
down.
said...
How many goals has Ollie Watkins
I just said, that I listen to Arsenal fans because they watch their team. So they went with Martinelli, right? Well, same thing. I'm going to be the same. They've told me that to get the best out of Martinelli, you need Jesus on the pitch. So it's got to be Jesus for me.
So you're saying Trossard, Jesus, and Saka. You're going
exactly that. Trossard, Jesus.
This
Saka.
season, who's been better?
Well, you can't.
I'm going Salah. I told you, man. I can't look past Salah.
Salah's been eliminated.
But we're putting him in for the sake of it, like.
I'm putting him in there because I find I want to give Liverpool
relegated
some credit.
Saka. No, you had that chance when he was up against Saka,
he's not above
and you
Saka,
chose not to.
But
Liverpool wouldn't give you credit.
Liverpool
Liverpool would not give you credit, so don't.
I didn't ask for their credit, you know. I don't need their credit. All right?
I will
go on overdraft. Okay, I don't need their credit.
What you say anyway? What are you saying?
I'm going Martinelli left wing, and I would have said Trossard in the middle. Yeah, that's what I would have gone. Over Jesus.
I put
bias. Possibly. It's hard to put any Liverpool player in this.
I think ability, if you're talking, I'm going Jesus all day.
Yeah. I think you've got to look at the fact there is a reason.
Listen, I love Jesus, man.
There is a reason why.
Sorry. That was actually a super chat that was sent earlier as well. But let me just get your locks in. So you've gone Trossard.
Trossard, Saka, Jesus.
Same with you as well. Trossard, Saka, Jesus.
Trossard, Saka, and if I can't say Salah, I'm going to go with my boy Eddie Nketiah.
You know, that's a very James pick, I would say. So we've gone Alisson in goal, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus.
Pretty diverse squad, I'd say.
Damn. You know? So basically, Arsenal with Alisson.
There's a lot of red players.
But just quickly, every Liverpool fan watching this, apologies, but please do your job tomorrow. One job.
Yeah.
Protect your role as the perfect